Welcome back, all you Ballin' sports fans, to another edition of Around the Rim, hashtag ATR. I am your host, the Dudster, Nester Dudley, and today is mid-season report card, y'all. And before we proceed with the show, I have to take this team off the floor. The Lakers, taking the Lakers off the floor. So you know what that means? That means that I have used my right to rescind. So Purple and Gold Lakers, Purple and Gold Nation, all I can say is, I'm sorry. Again, welcome all you Malden sports fans back into the studios of ATR, the virtual studios of ATR Around the Rim. This virtual studio has been provided by Pod Pro Entertainment. Check out Pod Pro Entertainment at their website, podproentertainment.com, or on all social media platforms. As I said at the top, this is the mid-season report card. We're going to see where Nester was right, where Nester was wrong, and obviously Nester was wrong when it came to the purple and gold. But the very first team that Nester was wrong on your undefeated Sixers right now. Those boys are just playing fantastic basketball. I don't know how they be doing it every year in, year out. And I'm talking about the past 2 years under head coach Glenn Noble. But my goodness, Mike Joseph, Jose Huabi, who was last year's playoffs MVP, Matt Maltese, Spencer Paul, Dante Bell, Landon Bercini, Daniel De La Oliveira, Denelson De Cruz, Kenny Mega, Anthony Watland, Charles McCullen, Andrew Noble, and Jason Britton. Those guys are playing, as I said, fantastic basketball. They are undefeated. The whole league knows about Danielson De Cruz. He came out on fire, making a statement, first-year senior. But I have a question. Who's this Watland dude? Where did this Watland dude come from? This dude did not try out. The coaches didn't have a chance to see him, and this is like the second year in a row that head coach Glenn Noble might have had an inside track because he picked this dude. And my goodness, you got the Cruz, who's averaging 13 points a game. You have Wallen, who's averaging 11 points a game. That is huge. Team captain, in my opinion, team captain. Jose Huabe's up there. Joseph Bell, both those boys can jump out of the gym, and everything right now is turning up crimson red. The only flaw, the only blemish this season from the Sixers, it didn't come from the players. It came from their head coach, Glenn Noble. So everybody in Sixer Nation is asking, Nester, when are you going to have Glenn Noble on? Well, Glenn Noble was invited. He was going to be on week 2, and he didn't show. That's a true story. Ask him. That's on him. That ain't on me. But Sean Hickey is going to make it right. Sean Hickey's going to be on this show 14 days from now. But the Sixers, nobody has been able to solve that riddle. So the Sixers, team in second place. The Lakers, the purple and gold Lakers, yes. Now, what I said at the season premiere, that this team doesn't practice as a team, don't have full practice participation, and they're not going to go anywhere if they don't have full practice participation. Well, let me tell you something. We at the midseason report card, they still don't have full practice participation, and they're in second place. 7-game win streak just got snapped this past weekend by your undefeated Sixers. But my goodness, Leon, Coriella, Spadafora, Gavin, Mawasawi, Bingaboo, Ramirez, Poole, the Perez brothers, Manny and Levi, Jordan Din, Kyle Nickerson, Abdullah Mek Hussein. Those boys are getting it done. Can they maintain this? I mean, You could only go so long without practicing before the rest of the league figures this out. But bless the purple and gold, 7-game win streak. They're 7-2. I didn't see it coming, but you know what? I don't need to see it coming. They saw it coming. Good for those guys, purple and gold. Team in third place, the Pistons. The Pistons are very interesting to me because the Pistons have enough to make a real serious run at this. They have enough to be in first place. They certainly got the coaching squad. They'll never get out-coached. Just that the Sixers, all their players don't show up to the games consistently, like another team that's further on down the ladder. But Wallace, Bly, Cook, Hatch, DePreville, Charles, Aurelian, May, Howe, Judy, Esterville, DeRosa, Ponte, nice, solid squad. Again, I like to see them at more of the games. I go to practices and I see them at practice, but I just don't see them at the games. I don't understand. Practice counts, but it doesn't count towards the records. The game counts towards the records. I don't understand what's going on. Hopefully this team can turn it around. The Bullets, day one, the Bullets. Another team that I had thrown on the floor. But you know what the right to rescind is? The right to rescind is that I could just take one. I could just swap out one. Because anybody can swap out more than one. Then what's the sense of making a prediction? And I am Nester Dudley. So will it be the Celtics? Or who I said was going? Would it be the Bullets? Or will it be the Lakers? That I'm going to use my right to rescind. We know I'm using my right to rescind. So, and if you paid attention at the beginning of the show, I actually tipped off who I'm going to use my right to rescind. But again, you have champions that are on this team. The Bullets won this doggone thing 2 seasons ago. Nice solid squad. Clark, Wright, Dubois, Son, Tancho, Foley, Wallace, Miranda, Deanna, Milanopolis, Turner, Allen. And I'm sure that there is one name that I've said that probably is not on that team, so I apologize for that. But who is on that team that I didn't say? They got Jack Sweeney. Jack Sweeney, who tried out his sophomore year. I was at the tryouts. When I look at the tryouts, Jack Sweeney looks straight up like a bullet to me. Drafted by the Celtics because Magic coach Evans Revere got to him before Steve Reich could get to him. But I guess in life and in nature, things have a way of balancing and working each other and working themselves out. Jack Sweeney's supposed to be a bullet, and now he is a bullet. And that Bullet team is playing better ball. And with Jack Sweeney as the X factor, that team can really go far. I like the acquisition of Jack Sweeney. I like how the Bullets are looking. Team that's in the 5th slot right now, the Kings. I mentioned about the Pistons earlier about players not showing up. But they ain't got nothing on the Kings when it comes to not showing up. This team, I said at the season premiere, that this team had everything to go all the way, to take the whole doggone thing. And I based that off the Jamboree. And even at the Jamboree, they were not at full strength. They didn't have all their players there at the Jamboree, not at full strength. And what I saw, and they played the Sixers to a tie in the Jamboree, based on that, this team, I had no problem saying, was coming in first place. But they have players that aren't showing up. They got one player who has never shown up. So Green, Francillian, Juliet, Hampton, Johnson, Reeves, Hajjaj, Bunch, Samir, Jedis, Lydia, Bangadella, Tienkin. This team, not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. They got a couple of victories. But if there's one thing they do have in their favor is head coach James Brito-White. He knows this game. He can put them in the best place to succeed. He just needs for his players to come to the games. If they could all come to the games, this team can turn it right around. No problem, no doubt. And now the team that is bringing up the rear, that is in butt naked last, something that I didn't see, the Celtics. They are still on the schneid. We had Coach Evans Revere on earlier in the season, and the show was titled On the Schneid. Well, nothing has changed. They are still on the Schneid. As I said, they traded away Jack Sweeney. They put Jack Sweeney in a better position to play for a championship. So not saying that this team has called it in, but it's going to be very difficult for them to make madness contention. Is it possible? I guess anything is possible, but realistically, I don't see it. They got eight losses. They're not going to go to the madness, but that doesn't mean that this is not a dangerous team. That doesn't mean that this is not a hungry team. This team is desperate for a win, and I say desperate in all the good sense and respect, because the remaining players, have heart. Telmark, Sweeney, not Jack Sweeney, Kevin Sweeney, Young, Rivera Fuentes, reigning Rookie of the Year, Crawford, Costa, Bayers, Pierre Toussaint, Solage, another Pierre Toussaint, the Pierre Toussaint, Tesfaye, Bertoni. This team, they're not going to lay over. They are not going to be anybody's doormat. They're going to be hard-fought games, and the rest of the season is going to be a trap game. It's going to be a trap game because these teams are going to take this team lightly, and they're going to mess around, and they're going to lose. I don't see this team not winning a game. Interesting fact, in all the 40 years of the Malden Napier Basketball League, there's only one team that has never came in butt naked last, whether we had 8 teams, 17, or 6 teams, and that is the Celtics. So history, not the right type of history of You're the Emerald, but history in the making there. In the week of February 7th at the Ferryway School, first game, Kings, Sixers over the Kings, 43-37. Samaya Highband for the Kings with 11 points. The Crews that all scores with 17 points as the Sixers improved at 7-0. The Kings dropped. Lakers over the Bulls, and it took them an extra frame, OT, 54-49. Then, high man for the Lakers, 13 points. Jack Sweeney, the newly acquired Jack Sweeney, led all scores with 14 points as the Lakers improved to 7-1. Next game, Sunday's game, the Lakers took a behind beating from the Sixers, 53-24. Ramirez Poole, high man for the Lakers, 13 points. Watland led all scores with 19 points as the Sixers remain unblemished. Pistons over the Celtics, 59-23. Tesfaye, high man for the Celtics, 10 points. Wallace all scores with 23 points as the Pistons improve to 4-3, and the Celtics are still on the schneid, 0-8. And that's how it went down this past weekend's play. And now on to the standings. Remember, if it doesn't match this, it just ain't official. Sixers on top of the land, on top of the league, on top of the world. And they are undefeated. 8-game win streak. Don't know why on the right it says win streak W, whatever. Gotta have somebody proofread these things. But in any case, Sixers in first place, followed by the Lakers 7-2, Bullets 4-3. Nope, that's Pistons 4-3, Bullets 3-5, Kings 2-6, and the Celtics bringing up the rear and butt naked last, still on the schneid. Where to read them every week? The play of the MNBL, Multiple Basketball League, at themnbl.org or atrlive.com or MNBL1986 on IG, Instagrams. Around the Rim, you can stream Around the Rim ATR on all devices. Live, VOD at ATR. Like, stream, follow. What's the handles? At Nester Dudley. At Real Nester Dudley, because there's only one real Nester Dudley. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. That's a microphone. Sounds nice when it's on. Check 2. Around the Rim has a baby brother, and that is Beyond the Rim. Beyond the Rim goes where Around the Rim doesn't go. So where Around the Rim stops, Beyond the Rim continues. Listen to Beyond the Rim available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. This weekend coming up, Saturday, February 14th, first game, Kings versus Bullets. Second game, Lakers versus Celtics. And in that first game, hashtag 4th place up for grabs. Saturday, February 15th, Celtics versus Bullets, followed by the Sixers versus the Pistons. And hashtag, will the streak continue? You hear the music? This is February. February is Black History Month, where we always drop the knowledge. And this week's Black History moment, Percy, Levon, Julian, 1899 to 1975, a chemist whose work transformed modern medicine. He developed large-scale methods to synthesize steroid-based drugs, including cortisone and hormones used to treat arthritis and inflammation. Julian's discoveries made these medicines affordable and widely available. Despite facing racial barriers that limited academic opportunities, he built successful private laboratories. His chemical process remained essential to pharmaceutical manufacturing today. Julian continued his scientific work despite threats and discrimination. He later sold his company for millions of dollars, becoming one of the first Black millionaires in the United States. So that is our Black History moment, always dropping the knowledge. And now, before we get to the repick'ems, the hashtag right to rescind, I have a question for you all out there. Maybe somebody can answer this question, or maybe somebody can give me some insight. Around the Rim, ATR, this show, is it a television show or is it a podcast? I'm serious. You're like, Nesta, how can you not know? It's your show. But is it truly my show or is it your show? Is it a television show or is it a podcast? I know pre-pandemic, it was a television show. It got listed as a television show. Everybody recognized it as a television show. Pandemic happened. We didn't complete the 2020 season. We didn't have a 2021 season. So in 2022, the new players coming into the league, they recognize this as a podcast. Nester, I seen your podcast. You seen Beyond the Rim? No, Around the Rim. What are you talking about? You get your rims confused? So I ask you, is Around the Rim, is the television show, or is the podcast? I know the television show, it plays community television. It's on the interwebs. It plays on different community television. That is the definition of a television show. A podcast has an RSS feed, really simple syndication, and a podcast can be seen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So Around the Rim is not on Apple Podcasts, it's not on Spotify, but Around the Rim is on YouTube. So by definition, Around the Rim is not a podcast because there's no RSS feed, but that could change. So I ask you all, is Around the Rim a television show or is the podcast? History is a television show recognized by the players of the podcast. What is it? Is it a television show? Is it a podcast? And if it is a television show, should it be a podcast? Should we change it to a podcast? Because a television show progressing to a podcast, that's kind of cool. So I ask you this one last time. Around the Rim, is it a television show or is it a podcast? You let me know, and we'll figure this out. Again, Around the Rim, hashtag ATR. Is it the television show or is it the podcast? You tell me. Okay. Now, the part of the show that you all been waiting for, the right to rescind. So, will I use my right to rescind? Yes, I am going to use my right to rescind. So, what I had at the season premiere, I had the Sixers going, I had the Pistons going, I had the Kings going, and I had the Celtics going. So the two teams I did not have going, I didn't have the Lakers going, and I didn't have the Bullets going. But just by virtue of me picking up the Lakers at the top of this show, that just showed my hand. I got the Lakers going. So the Lakers are going. So if the Lakers are going, and no disrespect to Bullet Nation, but if the Lakers are going, then that means I got to remove one team that is not going. And I think it's pretty clear at this point in time that I'm going to remove the team that's on the schneid. So the Celtics aren't going. So the four that I have going to the madness en route to the big dance, I got the Lakers going, have the Kings going, have the Pistons going, have the Sixers going. Once again, I could only swap one team. So I know right now that the Kings are in the 5 spot, but this is at the halfway point. They can easily creep up into madness contention. They are not out of it. But you're tired of hearing word salad from me. You want to know how's this going to go. So give me a chance, okay? I got this team here, okay? That's clear. The team's first place. And these are the teams, whatever, and, it's going to be. So we'll go this, and all right, and this could swap this way, or this be swapped this way, or whatever. And, I got to carry the one. You always have to carry the one. So we carry the one, and all that, and okay. So this is what I have. That first game, I have the Sixers. The Sixers, are they going to end up undefeated in the regular season? I don't know, but I don't know who's going to beat them either. I do see them coming in first place. And the Sixers coming in first place, and the Kings coming in fourth place. This is a rematch from last year's championship game, from last year's big dance. And same as last year, the Sixers are going to go on. The Kings are not going to advance. So then we have the Lakers and we have the Pistons. I don't know who's going to finish in third. I don't know who's going to finish in second. It doesn't matter who finished second, who finished third, because they're going to play each other anyways. I'm just going to say that the Lakers going to finish in second and the Pistons not far behind going to finish in third. And in the madness, there's going to be overtime. It's going to be an overtime game. Yeah, it's going to be overtime. I said overtime, hashtag OT. And when the dust settles on that particular game, that's going to go overtime, as I mentioned, is going to be the Lakers advancing past the Kings. So now we have what I think a lot of folks in our family known as the Mall Neighborhood Basketball League, that's what they're coming up to me. They're saying, Nester, you got to make this right. This is what we see. And I am agreeing with you all. This is what I'm seeing too so far. I'm seeing the Sixers. I'm seeing versus the Lakers. And unless things change in Laker Nation, unless they start getting full practices, yes, they're going to go to the big dance. But it's not going to be an easy road if you don't have practices, because all these teams are going to get better and your team is not going to get better. But this is not about hyping up the purple and gold. This is about hyping up the crimson. So it's going to be the Sixers that's going to be your repeat champions. They are going to successfully defend their title. Your 2026 champions, the Sixers. Well, will I be right? We'll find out in mid-March. Until next time, buenas noches, hooches cooches. I came in peace. I leave with love. This is for the red, the black, and the green. And I'll be seeing you at the games.